Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show. It's April. How in the world did we get here? It's April the 1st, 2024. The regular season is underway. AAA ball is underway. This week, we will have all affiliated minor league ball start, which is very, very exciting. But the Dynasty Dugout Show is a minor league baseball show. We're going to talk about everything that you need to know from this weekend's minor league action. And moving forward, it will be every single day, keeping you up to date on everything that happened in the previous day's action. My name is Chris Clegg. I am the host of the Dynasty Dugout Show and the founder of the DynastyDugout.com, which is your one-stop stop for all things prospects and dynasty work. Be sure to check out the site for all things you need to know, including the Dynasty Digest, which is a written form of what I am doing right here. You can read reports on all the players you need to know. We might just cover a few more in podcast form. Without further ado, let's get to the action. There was a lot to cover from this weekend, which starting with the Norfolk Tides. The Tides have been one of the better teams in the minors and maybe baseball. I know that people love to joke about the fact that they could beat MLB teams. That's a little far-stretched, but this team is really good, and they do have a lot of players that could be on MLB rosters. That top 4 and even maybe top 5 in that lineup are super. It's a fun team for sure. Let's talk about him. Heston Kjerstad's been extremely good. Kjerstad looks like he is on a mission to find a spot in Baltimore's lineup. Through the first 3 games, he's shown good contact. He's hit the ball hard. He has 7 hits through 3 games. He has a near 95-mile-an-hour average exit velocity through 11 batted balls. And again, we're talking small samples on all of these guys, but very good performance so far. The contact skills have looked good. 84% contact rate, and that was after whiffing on 3 pitches on Sunday. So he was 92% before Sunday's game. So really encouraging contact skills for Heston Kjerstad. He's been super good and one to watch out for, much like Connor Norby, who may struggle to find his chance in Baltimore, but a trade could open up some spots for him where he could potentially step in and be a second baseman on some MLB teams around the league. You know, he's not the flashiest player, but he has 6 hits so far in 3 games, including a home run and a double. He's hitting the ball harder than he ever has. I don't want to read too much into this. It's a small sample, but he has a 95-mile-an-hour average exit velocity. Last year, he posted an average EV of 86.5 and a 9th percentile of 101.5. So the power has looked below average, but he is hitting the ball hard. I don't want to put a lot of stock in this, but so far, so good for Connor Norby. Coby Mayo, another Orioles prospect, another player on Norfolk's team. I mean, he's hard-hitting. Coby Mayo, he's legit. I mean, you look at plenty of Norfolk hitters off to good starts. He has a home run and a double through 3 games. He also has 5 hits, strong slugging percentage. He's hitting the ball hard, right in line with what he did last year. I mean, Mayo had a 92-mile-an-hour average EV last year and a 107 90th. This is exactly what he's doing. He already has 3 batted balls north of 106 and a couple over 110 miles an hour. The contact rates have looked good to this point for Coby Mayo, which is a good sign. If all this can stick, I think Mayo's going to be up pretty soon. He is one that will be a high-end contributor very quickly. I look at Mayo, I think it'd be really fun to see him and Holiday debut at the same time. And if they did, man, that would be a great game to be at. So Mayo, watch out for him. He has been very good so far this year. And I don't think it's fluke. He should have made the team out of camp. He performed well enough to. And I think you'll see him up really soon contributing to the Baltimore Orioles. And obviously, Jackson Holiday has been very, very good. To no surprise, it's Jackson Holliday. He's one of the top prospects in the game. He has continued to hit. He's hit for power. He's putting the bat on the ball, which none of these should surprise you. Holliday has a 93.3 mile an hour average exit velocity, and many will say, oh, it's small sample noisy at 12 home runs last year, but I think most don't know that Jackson Holliday hit the ball hard last year. He had a 91 mile an hour average exit velocity. Considering he just turned 20 years old, there's plenty of power in this bat, and I think that Holliday ultimately figures it out, gets to power, he makes contact, he gets on base, and he might even be a sneaky source of speed as well. So Holliday, again, not a lot of analysis needed. Him and Mayo, two top prospects in the game. I think both these guys could be up rather quickly. Maybe by the end of April, maybe early May. Time will tell, but I don't think they can keep them down for too long. So watch out for Holliday and Mayo. If you want to stash them in redraft league, I absolutely would do so. Other guys to stash, Joey Loperfido. Loperfido, I thought, had a really good chance to make the team out of camp in Houston. Loperfido is so versatile. He can play around the diamond. He plays center field well. I thought that this was a chance for him to make the team because, honestly, the Astros don't have a true center fielder right now. Loperfido's been getting their work there. Jake Myers has been getting the starts in center. Loperfido's been good. He's seen the cover off the ball. He has 3 home runs in 3 games. And that was after an 0-for-3 performance on Sunday with a walk. So, the first 2 games, he was absolutely on fire, blasting the ball to all fields. He drove in 7 runs, which is wild. The contact skills have been good in a small sample. I look at this team, and there's an opening. The Astros have a chance for Loperfido to step in and make an impact. The versatility helps. Last year, he played 43 games in center, 19 at first, 20 in right, 21 at second, and 14 in left, while hitting 25 homers and stealing 27 bases. Loperfido can mash. He'll be a solid contributor as soon as he comes up. That question is when. I think it's probably pretty soon. I would not rule out him coming up over the next month because there is an opening. And while many are going to clamor for this next guy, Owen Casey, to come up, I'm not sure they push him, honestly. Casey's gotten off to a strong start in his first AAA stint. He has 7 hits in his first 3 games. With big power bat, you probably expect more extra base hits to this point. He has 5 singles and 2 doubles. But the impressive thing is that Casey has walked twice, and he has struck out just 3 times in 14 plate appearances. This is a very positive sign after last year putting up a 31% strikeout rate, which was far from good. He has made those improvements contact-wise. He's hitting the ball at ideal launch angles. Currently has a 55.6% line drive rate. Obviously, that's not going to stick. We're talking about small samples for every one of these players, but Casey, future middle-of-the-order bat with pop. Big stick. Casey's going to be a high OBP power hitter. Maybe he doesn't give you the batting average that you want, but you'll kind of take it considering what else he gives you in the profile. Very big power. Last year, some of the best exit velocities in all of baseball, including the MLB, with a 94 mile an hour average EV and a 9th percentile EV of 110 miles per hour. Casey's legit. I don't think they rush him. I still think he needs to show that he can consistently make contact. Again, small sample, but the contact rates have not been good in this small sample at 56.5%. So while the hits look good, the average looks good, watch out because the rest, the contact is not there. So watch Owen Casey. I love the profile. Not overly concerned with him about the contact right now. I think all works out there long term. Another guy with big power and questionable contact is Rhys Hines, and this is the exact profile that you expect out of Rhys Hines. Hit for homers and strike out at a high clip. He has 2 home runs already in 3 games, but he has struck out 5 times. 38% strikeout rate so far. Last year, he made some tangible improvements down the stretch, so that was obviously very fun to see, as he ultimately had a 259, 316, 527 slash in the first half, and the jump didn't look huge, but 271, 342, 535 in the second. But The first half came with a 37.5% strikeout rate and a 62% contact rate, and the second half surge saw the contact rate jump 11 percentage points to 73%. The strikeout rate dropped to 26% in the second half, which coincided with the 11% gain in contact. Guess what? Also an 11% drop in strikeouts, and that's pretty telling. At the end of the day, Hines is going to not hit for contact, which is what it is. He's a master corner outfielder with big power, but he's been off to a really good start so far this spring. Looking at James Wood. James Wood is a fun hitter. There's been a lot of buzz about him coming up pretty early. I don't think he does. I think the Nationals would actually be pretty foolish to do so because there's still a lot of development to be had with James Wood. At the end of the day, there's contact questions, there's big power, and there's speed. Everybody wants James Wood to be up and contributing. But again, we're looking at a 20-year-old with pretty raw skills. He's 21 now. He turned 21. But same concept. He's off to a good start. 400 batting average so far with a 600 OBP in a small sample for all these guys. He has 4 hits, including a double, and he's driven in 1. The interesting thing with Wood is that he has looked a little bit better strikeout-wise. He has 3 strikeouts, and he has 5 walks. The plate discipline skills have looked pretty good with James Wood, but it's come with a 54% contact rate and a negative 11-degree launch angle. He hits the ball hard. There's no surprise about that. You look at this profile with James Wood, it's like, okay, this guy does a lot of things well, but there's still a lot more that needs to be shown in order for Wood, in my opinion, to be a guy that's ready to contribute. At the end of the day, why would the Nationals push him? Ticket sales? Maybe. But if he comes up and struggles, which seems likely given his struggles against breaking balls and off-speed pitches, then what does you do? You send him down, and how does that look if you send one of your top prospects down after prematurely calling him up? I think that the most likely scenario is that we see Dylan Cruz and James Wood called up in August, September, get their feet wet, get major league experience, and then they both come up, or they're on the opening day roster in 2025 with a chance to make a run at the Rookie of the Year award. Give them that extra draft pick. I think that's what happens. Here's why they're doing what they're doing. James Wood and Dylan Cruz are both playing center field. That's why they're not on the same minor league team right now. They're both getting a shot to play center field to see how that goes. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that more than likely Cruz plays a corner. Maybe Wood plays a corner too, but they may both play corners. But they're getting shots right now to see who can play center field, which is a lot of fun. So I am in the camp that Wood does not get a premature call-up. I just don't think that that makes sense for them to do. But we'll see. Maybe I'm completely misreading the situation, and they do bring him up sooner than later. But let's talk a little Addison Barger, who I think is pretty underrated. You look at Barger's profile. He hits. He has some decent exit velocity skills. I look at the profile of Addison Barger and think, all right, this is a guy that can contribute pretty soon to a Toronto team that really needs some help. He hasn't gotten off to the best start. You look at the slash line, it's not good. He has just 2 hits and 14 plate appearances so far, and he has 1 walk to 4 strikeouts, slashing 154, 214, 231. But that's not what I want to talk about with Addison Barger. It's the fact that he's making contact and he's hitting the ball hard. So far, he has an 80% contact rate. He has a 90-mile-an-hour average exit velocity. Those things bode well for success. Making contact and hitting the ball hard. And I think ultimately we see Barger up at some point, and I think there's a strong chance that he could be contributing to this Toronto team. I mean, they need a third baseman. Barger can play around the infield. I doubt they keep running Isaiah kind of for Leffer out there. I just butchered that name. I got tongue-tied, but you get the point. IKF is just not the guy in Toronto, in my opinion. So I think that if he continues to hit, and the results will come, if he keeps hitting like this, then soon we'll see Barger in the majors contributing to this Blue Jays team that I think could really use him. Alexander Canario is another one that's gotten off to a pretty hot start from just a statistical standpoint, maybe not the biggest standout, but when you look under the hood, there's been some really good things to see. Canario's always hit the ball hard. He unfortunately has dealt with some, weird injuries over the years. Just 10 plate appearances, but he has 2 hits so far, including a homer, 500 OBP, which is good. He's walked 3 times to 2 strikeouts, which I like to see. Canario's hitting the ball very hard with a 95-mile-an-hour average EV. The launch angle at 30 degrees is interesting to see, but the contact, still the question mark. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into this, but 52%. So watch out for that. Canario has a chance to, he has debuted, so I think he can come back up pretty soon and be a contributor pretty soon.
Men, if you've lost your hair, it doesn't mean you can't find it again. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who found their hair again. It can be hard for men to deal with hair loss, even though it is common. Luckily, I'm here to provide you with a solution so you don't even have to talk about it. Through Hims, you can restore your hair by accessing their personalized hair loss solutions. Men value many different things about their appearance, but if you're a guy who really cares about your hair and find that it's slowly going away, you might be feeling discouraged when you look in the mirror. And that's where Hims comes in. Check out their personalized hair loss solutions, and you can start seeing your hair grow back in as little as 3 to 6 months. Hims provides you with convenient access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients, like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers. And they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Hail Mary. That's HIMS.com/Hail Mary for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/Hail Mary. Results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
When you visit Arizona, time is measured in moments, not minutes. Like the moment your work stress disappears as you kayak through the canyons. Or the moment you discover the life-changing effects of prickly pear chocolate. But nothing beats the moment you see the Grand Canyon for the very first time. Visit a new state of mind. Learn more at hereyouareaz.com.
Andy Pages, another one. I've written about Andy Pages pretty religiously this offseason, especially this spring. Pages is a big power bat, but he's also made some really good strides with his contact, which I think is huge. And again, another one where it's like, okay, the early results aren't showing. 182 average. He has 400 OBP and 15 plate appearances. Who cares? Pages is hitting the ball hard. 92.7 average EV and 10 batted balls and 25-degree launch angle. He's hitting too many fly balls, which has kind of been his downfall in the past. So that's something to keep an eye out, at least with Pages. Is that going to be corrected? We shall see. A couple other names to hit on. Obviously, some pitchers to talk about here. Paul Skeens was incredible. No shock. I mean, Skeens has always been very, very good. He was elite last year at LSU, had one of the best college seasons that we can honestly remember. And he's continuing to refine his arsenal. He is throwing a new curveball, or at least a rework kind of pitch. Already has an impressive fastball slider and change combo. On Saturday, it was 3 perfect innings with 5 strikeouts, just zeros across the board outside of strikeouts. So that's obviously pretty notable. When you see that, fastball averaged over 100. Changeup was 94, which is almost like a turbo sinker, I guess, if you want to call it that. So that's pretty wild to see. You look at the rest of the arsenal, the slider looked good. That curve was solid. He had a 52% whiff rate and a 39% CSW. I put my prediction down that Skeens debuts in Pittsburgh the first weekend of May. They are home against the Rockies, and what a great start to get for Paul Skeens. That would line him up for 5 to 6 AAA starts, and ultimately it would get him 3 starts in Indianapolis, which I think would be significant because that's going to put butts in the seats. They're going to sell jerseys out the wazoo for Paul Skeens. Everybody's going to want one of those Indianapolis Indians jerseys with Skeens on the back. So I think that Skeens gets some reps in Indy, and then he is off right away to Pittsburgh. I mean, he's already would be one of the best pitchers in that rotation. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he's up very soon and pitching side by side with Jared Jones at the top of that rotation. And him, Keller, and Jones make a formidable top 3 on this team. Get some of these other guys up, and all of a sudden Pittsburgh's looking really, really good, which would make it a really fun team to watch. And could this work? Absolutely. I think that he's ready. Skeens has nothing else to prove in the minors, in my opinion. He's a just very polished arm, really good stuff. People can complain and whine about the mechanics all they want to. Like, people are just trying to pick holes in this guy's game. Dead zone fastball, I don't care. It's 100 wherever he wants to locate it. He's fine. Paul Skeens is the best pitching prospect in baseball. Him and Jackson Jobe, top tier. Carson Whisenhunt, I was a little nervous about him because he had an elbow sprain coming off of last year, and that was a little bit concerning. I wondered how the Giants would slow play him, or would they give him the free reins to go? How healthy would he be? I think all those questions were actually reasonable to ask, and, well, Whisenhunt looks the part. He looked good this spring. They did kind of slow play him in. He only had 3 innings of work on Saturday when he pitched. I guess he actually pitched Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Tossed 3 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts. He looked really good. He did not allow a walk, and he threw strikes at a 64% clip, which is above average. The fastball set 94, which was pretty close to where it was last year, and I think pretty significant coming off a elbow injury like that, which in my book is pretty concerning. Anytime pitcher and elbow, they don't mix well normally. So to see Whisenhunt back out, pumping 94 with 17 inches of IVB and horizontal, I'll take it all day. Changeup, it's one of the best pitches in baseball, like from a changeup standpoint. I mean, it averaged 19 inches of fade, it's at 82. People talk about like a Bugs Bunny changeup. Well, that's exactly what this is when you watch Carson Whisenhunt's changeup, it just falls off the board. It's a very good pitch. Go watch him throw. Go just search Carson Whisenhunt on Twitter, and you'll see, like, he has got a wicked changeup, and it's a very good offering. He did throw the slider more, which is what I want to note here. 14% slider usage, which was up from last year. If that slider usage stays between 10 and 20%, obviously the more he throws it, the better, in my opinion. But that increase was pretty big and pretty substantial, in my opinion. And if that continues, then I'll be very happy, because last year he threw the fastball changeup combo 90% of the time, which I don't love. I'd like to see some more breaking balls in there, but this was a really good step in the right direction for Carson Whisenhunt, who I think has a chance to be pitching in San Francisco soon. The AAA assignment was pretty aggressive, but I think it showed their hand of how they value him. They really love this guy, and the lefty should be pitching fairly soon, so watch out for him. I am very excited about what Whisenhunt can do. Christian Mena, one of the more unheralded guys. I've always liked him. Liked what I saw with him with the White Sox. Saw him pitch when he was with Winston-Salem a decent bit. He tossed 5 innings in his first AAA start with Arizona. He was traded in the offseason. He allowed just 2 hits. He walked 1 while striking out 6. This feels very notable because Mena's pitching the PCL, which is a big pitcher's league, and same with Whisenhunt at that. But Mena's interesting. It's a low 90s fastball, 92 to 93. His slider and curve miss bats at a high rate. I look at this profile. I really like Mena. The changeup needs a little more separation from the fastball. It's not much velo separation at all, which is not good. Obviously, you want to see a little more than 2-3 miles an hour because you can sell it a little better. Throws the breaking balls, the slider and curve that I both like. At the end of the day, we will see what Mena becomes, but Christian Mena is highly interesting. The arm that we all want to hear about is Jack Leiter. Leiter was impressive in his start, and honestly, I'm not all that surprised. An arm with this kind of talent usually figures things out, and for Leiter, having the kind of, surroundings that he does, father that pitched in the MLB, really good coaches. He was excellent at Vanderbilt. Like, he's got all the resources to figure it out and succeed. Now, if you remember last year, Leiter was very bad. He ended up going on the development list, which was pretty substantial, I thought, and he went and reworked his mechanics. He came back, and the strike rate was substantially different. The strike rate jumped 5 percentage points, and the walk rate fell from 15% to 7.2% after. That's notable. Those changes have seemingly carried over to this year. He threw strikes at a 71% clip in his outing, sitting 95.7. He averaged 21 inches of IVB on the fastball. That's absurd stuff. It's crazy considering the horizontal movement also 10 inches. That's wild. Secondaries looked really good. Leiter missed bats with his slider at a high clip. It's at 90 miles an hour, and the curveball showed really nice depth too. I think that Jack Leiter might just be back, and it would not surprise me a bit if that were the case. Talent's always been there. The stuff is good. I am way in on Jack Leiter, and I had kind of been down on him. But seeing the changes he made down the stretch last year carry over to this season, all right, he's legit. Let's do it. I'm very excited to see how Jack Leiter continues to progress this year, but it was a very good start to the year for him with 9 strikeouts over 5 innings. He did pitch in relief, which was pretty interesting, but, it was nonetheless really, really good. Quinn Priester had a good start. He struck out 9 across 5 2/3 with 1 earned run and 1 walk. Priester has the talent, but at the end of the day, Priester's struggles are that he is inconsistent start to start. That is, the biggest issue with him is that he'll look like this one start, and the next start he comes back out and it's like, what in the world are you doing, man? I don't know with Priester. He could be up in Pittsburgh soon. He's already made his debut. So it's possible we see him soon, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Nick Lodolo looks ready to come back. He's slated to make his first start April 12th, if I'm not mistaken, so one more AAA start. He tossed 5 innings, struck out 8, walked 3, with just 2 hits allowed in his AAA debut this year. Lodolo's ready. Lodolo's got good stuff. Lodolo's going to be a good MLB pitcher for the Reds, so certainly like this profile. And Matt Manning, too, is one that Manning showed that he shouldn't be in AAA. He struck out 7 across 5 innings with 3 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 walk. A couple other arms that really caught my eye. Grant Gambrell, AAA arm with the Red Sox. He's a little older at 26, but he struck out 7 over 4 scoreless innings. He has really good stuff. Walked just 2 batters, allowed 3 hits. Gambrell is somebody that I've seen for a little while now and is an interesting guy. Boston's done some good things with pitchers. A lot of their pitchers have taken jumps this year. So that's pretty notable to me, is that Gambrell might be somebody that could pitch in Boston pretty soon. Landon Knack, obviously somebody that could pitch in Los Angeles very soon. He is very good. Knack had one of the more underrated seasons in baseball last year, in my opinion. He was stellar across the minor leagues in his first AAA start this year. 5 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned, 0 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Knack last year pitched between AA and AAA, and he had really good results at both, a 2.20 ERA in AA and a 2.93 ERA in AAA with good strikeout numbers. We look at the arsenal, and Knack's stuff looked really, really good. Knack ultimately is one that I think will probably be up pretty soon in Los Angeles. They have the availability, and everyone's kind of like, oh man, like he's not going to find a spot. But this rotation has not stayed healthy, and there are options here. Knack's fastball is not overwhelming, but it does have good IVB, which is really encouraging. The slider misses bats at a really high clip. Changeup's a solid offering as well. Changeup has some really good ride on it with some good fade. I'll take my chances on Landon Knack in the Dodgers development system here because they do a fantastic job with pitchers. Chase McDermott had an interesting start. He struck out 6 over 4 1/3. He also walked 5, which looked like the Chase McDermott of old, who had really struggled with his command. But it was a cold night, and so I'm not really going to be overly concerned. At the end of the day, McDermott and Cade Povich are battling it out. So I am looking at this profile. I still like McDermott's chances to pitch in Baltimore at some point this year, but he's a fun one to watch out for. Keider Montero is another one. You look at this arsenal, it's really solid. Montero, through 4 innings, he struck out 6 batters. He allowed just 1 walk and 2 hits without allowing a run. This situation in Detroit is interesting. It's pretty stacked with a lot of arms ready, but could Montero find a spot? Potentially. I wonder if this year, maybe it's out of the bullpen. I don't have any intuition on that, but Montero does have good stuff. Fastball that sits 95 to 97 with good IVB numbers and some fade to it as well. Throws a big downward curveball with big sweeps, a good 2-plane break pitch, and a slider as well that sits 85. So he's got 3 distinct velocity bands. He threw the changeup only 1 time in his start, but Keider Montero, somebody that I really like as well. So there's a lot of fun names to talk about. We could keep going on and on forever, but it's a full weekend slate. Tomorrow we'll be back, and there will be nothing to cover because there are no minor league games on Monday, but we'll probably do a little buy or sell edition of, what are we buying and what are we selling for Dynasty leagues, because this is the Dynasty Dugout Show after all, and while we're covering the minor leagues, at the end of the day, we're still doing Dynasty work too. So this has been another edition of the Dynasty Dugout Show. It's April Fool's. Don't let anybody fool you. It's Monday, April 1st, but this is still the Dynasty Dugout Show. It is a good day to enjoy baseball, a full slate of Major League action starting at 2 o'clock today, which is awesome. So take advantage of that early start and watch baseball all day. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day and share kindness with those around you.